branded and continue their lies. Shades not what I, judgment soon come, can't run me to high. Crying for freedom, just take it or die. Babylon fall with all their lies. Freedom soon come, you really see the body being formed with you and me.
That's why we're hysterical. It's been 400 years in the belly of a cow with swallowing souls, throwing dry bones to the animals under the table. System bloodthirsty dogs, red iron angles, uninspiring outlaws, creating corruptions with their whispering walls. We go circle sending bash trumpets and watch it fall while y'all committing crimes to extermination, with genocide, dirty water radiation, prison poverty and serving protect sanctions. We better get out the way the father's done with you. We better go. But you didn't know.
Out from Apple to Rome, and it's been so long since I see my land. So come save your sheep with your mighty hand as the warriors called in the dark of night. Yes, the time has come to see the sun's light. While some fight for wealth, we fight for liberty. So to overcome the word is going to take you and me to bring forth the kingdom, which is our ultimate goal. That's why we're telling Pharaoh to let our people go. Let our people go. Let our people go. Go.
Hallelujah. We're going to open with our Hatzi Kaddish as usual, so in a spirit of prayer. Hallelujah. Yitkadal va yitkadesh shemei rabah. Be'almadi barak yeruteh va yimelich malkuteh. V'chayechunu v'yamichunu v'chayeda kol beit Yisrael. Bagalau v'izman kariv v'imeru. Amen. Yehei shmei rabah mavorach le'olam ulmei amaya. Yitbarak v'yistabach v'yipa'ah v'yitroman v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitalei v'yitalal shemedu kudusha berechu. Le'ela min kol barachata v'ashirota tushbechata v'nechmata. Damiran ba'alma. V'imiru. Amen. Magnified and sanctified may his great name be in the world he created by his will. May he establish his kingdom in your lifetime and in your days and in the lifetime of all the house of Israel, swiftly and soon, and let us say, Amen. May his great name be blessed forever in all time. Blessed and praised, esteemed and exalted, raised and honored, uplifted and lauded be the name of the Holy One. Blessed be he, beyond any blessing, song, praise, and consolation uttered in the world. And let us say, Amen. Good evening. Peace and blessings be upon our listening audience here in Hebrew Vision Live. I am your host for this evening, Mikael Korban-Yahu, but I am pleased to say that on the line I have a voice you may have not heard in a while, Kimathi Malaku Shemaiah. You there, Aki?
Yes, indeed.
Oh,
yes,
yeah.
Indeed, I'm here.
Hallelujah.
Happy to be here. Looking forward to a dynamic discussion this evening.
No doubt. And we have our feature for this evening, Brother Keith Horton with New Era Detroit. Peace and blessings be upon you, my brother. How you doing this evening? Man, all is well, all is well. We got a little muffled sound, but hopefully we're going to work it out and get this going just fine. What I'm going to do, though, I'm going to go ahead and record this call so I can upload it.
The recording has started.
If we need to upload this conversation and make it a little more clear, but we're going to go ahead and get started. But the song you just heard, of course, is our theme song. This is Let My People Go. This is by Sister Nakia, as well as Brother Nehemiah, and Sister Yaleach, and yours truly, Mikhail Corbin Yahoo. But lot going on in Detroit, Michigan. You know, we've seen with the situation in Flint. You know, we've seen just the way that the urban dilapidation has affected our people in Detroit. Gentrification, of course, is very strong, but there's a new era that's taking place in Detroit, and like I said, our feature for this evening is a major part of that particular movement. And I want you, Brother Keith Horton, just to introduce yourself to our listeners first, and then we'll go ahead and get into some history, some background as far as what's going on in Detroit. Bring us up to date, and then we'll get into some more meat and potatoes about what it is that you've been engaged in with New Era Detroit. But please, the floor is yours.
Yes, I appreciate the introduction. I appreciate you having me on the call. I'm Keith. I'm a resident of Detroit and a member of New Era Detroit, which is a grassroots organization that's working hard to combat everything that's going on to keep us down within the city of Detroit, within Michigan, and within the United States in general. We just fight every day for our people, and we try to implement programs to help uplift and help us be more self-sufficient, self-sustainable as a people.
Right. So, what has been your experiences growing up in Detroit? As far as what have you inherited? What has been your experience?
My experience, I wouldn't necessarily say it's been a bad experience because Detroit is a place like no other. We do have the largest percentage of black people in the United States with 82% black population. So you can't go anywhere within the United States and experience that many black people. So that's really a good thing, just to be amongst your people, be around your people. It hasn't really been bad, to be honest. It's impoverished, of course, but that's pretty much anywhere you go within the United States where it's a large amount of black people is going to be, impoverished. But, that's kind of something that we share all over, so it's not really a big deal. And, we always find a way to get through whatever hardships we encounter, so that's not really a big deal, to be honest. But right now, it's kind of the same here as everywhere, just on a smaller or larger scale. Gentrification, just like anywhere else, poor schools, but, we're trying to work through that, so that's kind of what New Era is about, and that's the reason it was started, to combat, certain things that we all experience throughout the entire nation.
Okay. Brother Kimati, what you got,
Yes, indeed. Yeah, I was wondering if you'd be so kindly, Mr. Horton, Brother Horton, I should say, could you share with the listening audience the year of the founding of New Era Detroit, as well as sharing a little bit more details about what circumstances produced the actual development of the movement?
So it was actually started on Marcus Garvey's birthday, August 17th, 2014. So we just completed our 2 years, going into our 3rd year now. And basically, the movement was produced because we needed a new era in the city. We got corrupt politicians, corrupt police officers. We have gentrification. We just have a lot of things that produced us. So we needed a grassroots, frontline, young people to combat a lot of the things that's going on, And I'm not sure if you guys know, but it's a lot of school closings that's, potentially going down in the city, as well as a corrupt mayor and governor. you spoke on Flint earlier, and nobody's in jail for that. That was a cost-saving decision on the part of the government, and nobody has been held accountable for that. Like you got poisoned an entire city, and nobody's being held responsible. Nobody's being held accountable. So that's kind of where we come in, is just as an accountability organization, and to fight and also to bring awareness, because nobody was really going too much to Flint until we started taking water. Us as an organization, grassroots organization, took over 1 million bottles of water to Flint, to the people of Flint. Because Flint is about 45 minutes to an hour away from Detroit. So, we took several trips up there. At one point, we was going up there every 2 to 3 days up in Flint, just taking trucks and truckloads of water. And then once we started, everybody started seeing us go up there, then everybody else started to come, which was good, because, the people benefit from it. So that's always good. And then we have several, programs and fights that we're fighting. Like I also mentioned, the school closing. So we have a program called Building Young Kings. And that's where we go to the schools where we work with the young men and teach them, about black empowerment, teach them about black economics, spending money with their people, just basically teaching them how to be men, teaching them knowledge of self, because a lot of them, they don't get that type of education or information. So, we try to hit as many schools as possible, and pretty much what they're trying to do here is take the schools, close all the public schools, and only have private or charter schools. And so we have, I think, 82 schools, and they're trying to close 30 of them. And of that 30, the majority of them are on the east side, so a lot of the students will have to drive 30 to 40 miles just to get to the nearest school. And so that's kind of like the main thing that we've been fighting is that, the school closings, and then we've been fighting as far in terms of taking over our local government. So we have 3 of our members running for city council. And we just kind of been on the front lines with that, going door to door, getting people to sign up to vote on our slate. So we have a slate of people that, like I said, we hold the politicians accountable. So we interview all of the people running for city council, running for mayor, and then based on the interviews and based on our own personal research, we come up with our own slate. And so we go door to door, and we get people to sign up to vote on the core of New Era Detroit. So they pledge their vote to New Era Detroit. And we have a slate that tells, who to vote for based on our research and based on our interviews. And so, as I said, we got 3 of our own members too running for city council. So we just try to, basically fight on every point that we possibly can right now. That's been our main 2 focuses, are the school closings and the political front, taking back our local government.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Hey, can you backtrack a little bit for us and talk about Kwame Kilpatrick, right? I know that he had, what the media portrayed and what the real story is. Can you perhaps delineate if there is any difference between there? I don't want to conjecturize anything myself. I have my opinions of the matter, but can you, perhaps, put that into perspective and contextualize that for us as far as what's going on, even to present with Kwame Kilpatrick?
Yeah, so I'm not sure if a lot of people know, but he was the mayor of Detroit, black guy, young. He actually graduated from the same high school that I graduated from too, which was Cass Tech. But they tried to claim that he was taking money, and they sentenced him to 30 years in prison. And they also claimed that he was basically doing bad contracts. And so we heard now is doing 10 times worse than what Kwame Kilpatrick could ever do. And he's still out, you know, nobody's making a fuss. He's giving all of the millions and billions of dollars in contracts to foreign entities, so people that come from out of state, and then they come and develop downtown and midtown without the local residents in mind. Like I said, the city is 82% black, and yet they let all of these white contract companies come from out of town, and they give them the contracts to build, you know, new arenas, new stadiums. We got an M1 rail that's coming, basically like a light rail, that's like a streetcar from
right.
downtown and midtown. You know, for example, one of the things that he did, that the blighted houses in Kwame Kilpatrick was, you know, had the contract. It cost an average of $6,000 to $7,000 to tear down the houses, whereas the new contract that was written under Mike Douglas, it was on the average of $12,000, which is double the price. And he gave the contract to a company that he's associated and affiliated with. So that's the same thing that Kwame Kilpatrick went to jail for, and he's doing worse. And nobody says anything to him.
That's crazy. That's crazy. But that's typical when you have a progressive, you know, young African brother that's, you know, making moves and empowering the community. You know, that's very typical of what takes place. Let me ask one more question to follow up with that. You know, you were speaking of just like the city maintenance. I remember hearing how water bills, for instance, of like golf courses and stadiums were like in the hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt, whereas community members in Detroit were, you know, a few bills, you know, behind, and they cut off their water. And if I'm not mistaken, they were even threatening to abduct their children from their house in order to make those payments. Could you elaborate on that some as well for us, Brother Horton?
Yeah, so that's actually another big problem that we have in the city, which is the water shutoff. And as you know, we are surrounded by the Great Lakes, which is like, you know, 90% of the world's fresh water. And we, in the city of Detroit, it's kind of like a compounding thing. So that's why we are surrounded by the Great Lakes, which is, you know, the largest body of fresh water. And then we have one of the highest poverty rate, which means that people don't have money, and then we have some of the highest water bills in the nation. So it's like a lot of compounding factors in that. But yes, they were shutting off a lot of people's water who were, you know, being 1 month behind, you know, a few dollars that they owe. They was turning off people's water, senior citizens, all types of stuff. But yeah, like you said, the golf courses, like the Lions Stadium where the Lions play football at, they owe almost $1 million in water bills, and everything was okay with them, but then they turned off the resident. And it's like, to me, personally, that was just another thing to cause black flight so they can come and take the city back, because that's really what they're trying to do. With the gentrification, like, and that's another thing that we kind of pushed for in the last election was a proposal called Proposal A. And what Proposal A was larger reach than we do. So it's like, you know, we just suddenly grassroots, door to door, you know, we showed up at the polls with our slate, and you know, it was effective, but we kind of did it close to the time of the election, but now we have a long way before the election happens, so we did start early, like our first Hood to Hood campaign is at the end of this month, and coupled with the Hood to Hood, we're going to do the Vote 15K, where we give people to, you know, pledge their votes in the area of Detroit too, so, you know, just stuff like that, like we just trying to really take back our city, because, you know, a lot of them have been asleep for a long time, so we're just trying to wake people up.
No doubt.
And just take our city back.
No doubt.
That's real. I was wondering, what kind of partnerships does New Era Detroit have? Like, are you partnering with other revolutionary or conscious groups?
We are, but I mean, we're definitely willing to work with anybody. And like right before the New Year, we had an open community meeting every Thursday. So we allow everybody to come out if you want to learn about New Era Detroit, you know, if you want to partner, or if you want to disseminate any information about any upcoming events. We had that going every Thursday. So we made a lot of partnerships with that. We partnered with a lot of people that are presently within our local government, the city councilman, mayor, candidates, all of that. So like if somebody wanted to run for mayor, they would come out and they could present, you know, whatever case that they have to the people at the open community meeting, you know, potentially get the support of New Era Detroit and the people who come to the open meeting. Yeah, I'm not sure if you guys saw, but we do have several other chapters too besides just New Era Detroit. We got New Era Chicago, we got New Era Atlanta, New Era Birmingham, and New Era Cleveland. And the Revolutionary Black Panther Party and New Era Chicago just linked up recently, and they were out in the community. And they also went to the store owner that beat the lady. I'm not sure if you guys saw that, but you know, he wrestled the pregnant lady down to the ground because she supposedly stole some eyelashes. And so they went and they shut down that beauty supply store.
Right.
Yeah, so that was like you know, big in the media too. And that was New York, Chicago, and the Revolutionary Black Panther Party. So.
Powerful. You want to follow up with a question, Kamati? Go ahead.
I was familiar with the other New Era chapters that you had. Yeah, I wanted to follow up with that. Can I be heard?
Yes, sir.
Can I be heard?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay, great. Yeah, I want to, did you mind sharing for the people? Okay, did you mind sharing for the listening audience ways that they could probably bring a New Era chapter to their community if they were interested?
Yeah, so right now, the best way we're telling people to do, if they do have interest, is, you know, you can talk to any of the members, and then we would take you to our board members. But the best way to do it right now is just to, just say, for example, if you want to start Kansas City, just to gather the people who you would think that would be also potentially interested. Because normally what we do is when we start a new chapter up, is we go and we make a presentation in that city to all of the people who would potentially be members of that chapter. And we interview, because we don't just let anybody in, so it is an interview process and it is a screening process. So we, you know, like for example, with Cleveland, Chicago, Atlanta, all of that, we went to those cities. We set a meeting with all of the people who were potentially interested in it. We gave a presentation. We interviewed the people, and then we set them up with two of our programs. So the one program that we always start with is the Horton, which you go door to door, and you go through the neighborhoods. And then the second program that we do is called the Buy Black Tour, and that's where we go every week, and we support a black business as a whole. It used to be called the Cash Mob, and then we kind of revamped and changed it up, called it the Buy Black Tour. normally the two programs that we start with. But to get back to the question, the best way to get the contact information of the people who will potentially be interested, and then have those people send their information to our email, or you can just inbox in our Detroit page with the contact information. So that would just be the name, probably like, maybe one or two sentences about yourself, and then what city you're from, and just a short message saying you would like to get a chapter started in your particular city.
Powerful, powerful.
We do have an email address. If you want the email, I can give it to you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the email is new.era.detroit@gmail.com. So if you email that email address, somebody will get back to you. But the more people that you have, the quicker that we can get to the city. Because it's like, we want, I was just want travel to a city for one or two people. That'll be kind of inefficient. So it'll be better if, you have 15 or 20 people, then you can just kind of hit the ground running. As soon as we get there, we interview the people and get everybody started.
Okay, great. You're listening live to Hebrew Vision Live. We're here discussing Ready for the Revolution with New Era Detroit member Keith Horton. If you have any questions for Brother Keith or you want to add on to the cipher, you can call in to our line. It's 701-801-1211. Our PIN number is 760-976-533. So, Brother Keith, what I want to ask you about is there a central ideological thrust that is present within New Era Detroit? And I ask that because as an affiliate with the All African People's Revolutionary Party, one of the major principles of the movement and the party is dealing with a central ideology, and I think that is something that is very solidarity establishing amongst the people, because we can have a lot of different people with their own ideas, but if there's not a central tenet that forms the core of our ideology, then there's a tendency that we can get off track. And I'm not saying that's the case, but I'm just curious to know where New Era Detroit stands with that.
So we are definitely not a secular organization. Pretty much the pervading ideology is really just Pan-Africanism, unifying under blackness. Because the thing is, as long as you black and you are for the people and you ready to put in work, that's really like, the thing that threads all of us together. And, really our thing is really just accountability. So, like, everybody is accountable and responsible for themselves within the organization. And, like I said too earlier, it is a heavy screening process. When we do go through extensive interviewing, because, we know how the Panthers got ended through infiltration, Marcus Garvey as well. So,
yes, sir.
We try to keep that to a minimum. So, we don't just let anybody in. But people can't help as long as they're for their people and they're ready to put in work. We don't really have any centralized ideologies or anything like that, as far as like religious base or anything.
No doubt.
We got people that's from any ideology.
Okay. Are there any reading lists that you all advocate or even require for membership or things of that nature?
Not necessarily required, but we do have political education though. So, we have that's another group that we partner with is the people who teach our political education class, and they are heavily involved with the voting process and all of that type of stuff, and they're very, very much politically educated. So they come and teach our political education classes. But it's not necessarily a requirement
Okay, no doubt.
Okay. I was. What would New Era Detroit say? Right, is the building block to achieve revolution. Would you mind sharing some building blocks by which revolution is to be achieved?
Definitely economic.
Maybe some foundational principles.
Right. So firstly, I would say economics because we do, our buying power is $1 trillion as Black people, and less than 2% of that is spent with our own. So definitely economics for sure because Black people are the biggest employers of Black people. So, the more that we support Black business, the more Black businesses that we can have to support. Because, the more money we spend with our own, then the more franchises, the more, businesses that we can open up. Then the white man won't even be a factor. Because we don't even have to see the white man. Because we're shopping with our own, we do it for self. So, that's one is economic / self-sustainability / self-sufficiency. Another is education. As I said, we're fighting the school closing. So with the educated population, it's harder to enslave those people the more educated you are. And lastly, I would just say taking back our local government, our local politics, because those who write the laws pretty much control you. So if we have our own people within our local government, we can give our own people the contracts, the jobs, and it won't be as much corruption because, like I said, we are an accountability organization. So if you get in on our accord, then we can take you out on our accord too. If we got 15,000 people that's voting on our slate, then that's 15,000 people that can repeal you and take you out of office as well if you're not doing what you say you was going to do. So there's definitely another one is taking back our local government.
Where does New Era Detroit stand in terms of repatriation?
So repatriation?
Yes, sir. What is New Era Detroit's thoughts on the subject of repatriation? I'm sorry? Heard?
Yeah, we got you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, did you want to say something else?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I said, where does New Era Detroit stand on the subject of repatriation?
To be honest with you, I'm not sure what the organization stance is as a whole on repatriation, but me personally, I'm an advocate for repatriation. I'm not necessarily going to be like, because I'm not sure if you know, but I'm also, the founder of Revolutionary Mind Cinema, co-founder. And we have a documentary coming out called Revolution or Exodus. And basically it weighs out those two ways of freedom, revolution or exodus, because we, as a people, as a whole, we kind of been backed into a corner, to be honest. And, those are one of the few options that we do have left for freedom is revolution or exodus. And me personally, I'm an advocate for repatriation, or AKA exodus, because, people try to say that, oh, this is our land, we are entitled to our ancestors built this land. And I'm not arguing against any of that. You're right. Like, technically, we are the owners of this land. We are the builders. We are the founders. But at the same time, we are in control of this land, and we are the minority in numbers. Because they say we only make up 14% of the population. So things that we could do in Africa than we can over here because, I mean, the white man is not going to just give up his power at all. And even if we do go and try to take power back from the white man, we still got to worry about the Chinese man, the Indian man, the Mexican man, all of that. They won't just give up power either because the white man has everybody in a hypnotic state trying to achieve the American dream, which he put forth. And so with all of those people, they don't want anyone to change the status quo. So they're going to fight to keep their way of life. And anybody who threatens that is looked at as the enemy. So I just feel that we will have a much better chance if we repatriate as opposed to, staying here.
Definitely. Hebrew Vision are definitely proponents of that particular philosophy as well, or I would call it a movement more so than a philosophy because there's action involved in that.
Right.
You spoke briefly about Revolutionary Minds Media. Can you give us some information and background into that? I know my wife has purchased one of the publications that you all have released. I won't, discuss. I'll let you talk about that and everything that Revolutionary Minds Media is doing right now.
Okay, so Revolutionary Minds Cinema is made of 5 members. Me, R&D Trek. We have YG Preach, which is a videographer and graphic designer out of Tacoma, Washington. We have our artists, our digital as well as print media artists. She does paintings, drawings, charcoal, any type of media down in Texas, which is Queen Afi. She's out of Houston, Texas. We have Eric Shepard, which a lot of you know from the flag incident down in Valdosta, Georgia. And then last but not least, we have a rap artist, which is Brick the Foundation. And so we kind of got the whole United States covered because I'm in Detroit, Midwest. We have Brick the Foundation, which is he's actually living in Flint right now, so he's in Midwest. We got Eric Shepard down in Georgia, which is, southeast. Then we got the dirty south, which is Queen Afi in Houston, Texas. Then we got the west covered with YG Preach. And so, we all do our own thing individually, but we all come together collectively as well. So, for example, our collective vision is the documentary Revolutionary Exodus. So, me and YG Preach are doing the interviews with the videographers, editors. Brick is doing the soundtrack, and Queen Afi is doing the cover art and the graphics for the documentary. So, that's kind of our collaboration / conglomeration of talents all put into one. And then our first publication, which you briefly talked about, was our coloring book called The Unsung Heroes of the Revolution. All of those characters in the book were all drawn from scratch. And it's characters that you won't normally see. Like, you can't just go up on Google and pull up an image of Matulu Shakur where, polite. Like, we just got a lot of different people that's kind of like modern day heroes as well as historical, such as Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, Huey P. Newton,
right.
Patricia Moonwest. And just, a lot of people that, that a lot of people don't really necessarily know about. And so we just wanted to put a spotlight on those individuals. And it's a teachable moment for parents as well as children, because when the children get it and they, color and read the quotes, they read the name, and then they ask the parents, who is this? Then the parents have to research too to find out who it is, and then it teaches birth. It's a teachable moment for both the child and the parent.
That's powerful. Yeah, that is powerful. And I know, we've gone over the book several times, and it's just a wonderful tool, and a great introduction to our ancestors and our present leaders. And I understand you all have a magazine as well, the Wisdom Magazine. Can you talk on that? And a radio show, I do believe as well. Can you talk on that so our listeners can become aware of that and perhaps tune into that as well?
Yeah, those are actually our partners and affiliates.
Okay.
I was featured in the magazine Get This Wisdom. It's a publication by Shopkeep. She's one of our, main affiliates, supporters, and she does a magazine. So she released two publications so far. And this last one was called, it was about, revolutionary. So I was in it, King Samir Shabazz, Mastermind Allah, Bluetooth. There was a lot of, insightful interviews, and, it was mainly focused on the revolution. And then we do also have another affiliate, which is Knowledge Born Allah, also out of Tacoma, Seattle area. And he has a blog talk radio show, Dudes of Knowledge Radio. And those are affiliates too. And he's pretty much on almost 7 days a week. So, you can just go to the blog talk website, you type in Dudes of Knowledge Radio. He got, so many episodes. And like I said, he does a show almost every day.
Oh.
He got several different shows. He has the sex efficiency show with King Samir Shabazz. He has a relationship show. He got a lot of different shows on there.
That's dope. It's called Do the Knowledge.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm familiar with Do the Knowledge. I've listened in on a couple of Knowledge Born of our shows. Very dynamic.
Yeah, he's very, very knowledgeable, smart, great person.
Could you share how important is cultural consciousness, in the program of New Era Detroit? How is culture being?
Could you say that one more time, sir?
No problem. How important do you think it is to be conscious of one's cultural heritage with respect to New Era Detroit? How does New Era Detroit view cultural consciousness, its liberation struggle?
That's huge. That's kind of like, what our foundation is, basically our culture and our heritage. Living in this diaspora, which we call America, a lot of that has been stripped away from us, taken from us by force, definitely on purpose. And so we just kind of try to put that back in. So, that's kind of like the foundation of the Building Young Kings. For example, the last meeting that we had with the Kings was teaching them about melanin, because a lot of them don't know about melanin. And they don't know that, how valuable it is, $363 a gram. And so, then there's, kidnappings and abductions and all of that start to make sense once you see, your real worth and how valuable you are. Because if you look up, people's net worth, there was an article that came out and it was saying that a lot of people that live in impoverished areas, they have a net worth of 0 or negative. But once you see that, organs, because they do trade and sell organs on the black market, hearts and all of that go for, $120,000, livers and kidneys, and then melanin, $363 a gram. One black body is worth potentially multi-millions of dollars. So, we always try to instill the worth. I'm sure you hear a lot of our terms, Black Power, Black Love, Black Unity, all of that. Just trying to get people to really embrace that blackness. Because a lot of people that's living in 2017 have never seen a group of black people talking about black love and black unity in person. Like, if you saw the Panthers, all of that was in the 60s. The people that's our age, we never seen that. You never seen a group of people walking down the street chanting black love, black power, black unity. Now, you never seen that in person. And so that's what we try to instill in everybody in the city is that cultural heritage and being proud of yourself and being proud of your blackness. And me personally, I believe that that's where the achievement gap lies, is because you don't have the knowledge of self and self-worth. And so if you don't have that, then what reason do you have to achieve higher or try to be better? You only listen to the radio who's telling you that you're the N-word and the D-word and that's, you're not loyal, all of this. And then you watch TV, then, you're a thief and a criminal, pimps. Like, we never portray positively in the media. Then you go to school, you only learn that you're a slave. It's like, what reason do I have to do better, to be better, to accomplish greater things? And so that's where that heritage and cultural identity come in. Is that, teaching you that you learn more and that you should strive to be greater because you're trying to get back to where your ancestors came from. You try to achieve what they achieved and even greater. But if you only thought that you were slaves, then it's like you already off the bottom. So if you just only inch up a little bit more, then it looks like you're doing something. But then once you know where you really came from, it's like we was at the pinnacle. So now I'm going to try to climb back and get to that. And so that cultural heritage is definitely important.
You're listening live again to Hebrew Vision. We're here with Brother Keith Horton with New Era Detroit. We're discussing being ready for the revolution. Again, if you have any questions or any comments, you can call in at 701-801-1211. Our PIN number is 760-976-533. I want to get a little more personal in the sense of dealing with your development. How have you come to this consciousness personally? In terms of being a Pan-African, in terms of even dealing with some of the artistic expressions. I know that you are dealing with photography as well, some other videos, things, but even some of the trainings that I've seen on your Facebook page that you've been engaged in. Talk about your development into manhood and what it means for you to be an African man.
That's a good question. When we said with the training, actually, that was first before anything was the training. I started martial arts all the way back when I was like 12 years old. And so that really was the basis and foundation of who I am today, is the martial arts, because it gives you the discipline, it gives you a sense of accountability. Because like for us, it was within school, and so it actually started as an after school program. And if anybody did anything like as far as bad or behavioral or had any behavioral problems, we always get in trouble as a unit because we were one. So that to me that's what started the whole group accountability foundation was that the martial arts. That was like first. That was first and foremost. And I still train today, still teach martial arts because that's another thing that's beneficial to everybody is like the martial part of it is like that's the lowest part. That's like that's the base level. martial art. The way you walk, the way you drive, the way you converse with people, everything is a martial art. And so that's really my foundation. The real start of my consciousness was actually when I learned about the Illuminati. Like that was like the very, very first. That was when I took the real pill. Once I learned about what really happened on 9/11, and I learned about the Illuminati. And I learned about that probably back in like 2004. So I've been awakened for a long time. I was just a high school student when I actually learned about that. And the real my first group moved into that, so I was pretty much alone. Like, I knew about that stuff, but it was like, who could I talk to about it without sounding crazy? Like, this cabal of people that, that plans to, make a one world government. Like, you would just sound crazy back in 2004 talking about that. And like I said, it was now on Facebook, so there was nobody who thought that even knew this information. And so what I did back then was I just started teaching the people around me. I started teaching my brother, my sister, friends and family, all of that. So then that way I could have even people to talk to. And so, I was just kind of always different. Like, all the way through since I was a kid, all the way up, I was always kind of different. And so I was in the researcher, try to learn as much as I can about as much as I can. So that was really the start of it. That was the Illuminati and 9/11. And then fast forward later, a couple years, actually saw Sarah through a study on YouTube, and he was talking about how, like, just talking about our black consciousness and black identity. And I was like, man, he was right. Like, he kind of made a lot of sense at the time. And so that's when I really, really just started researching. So that's from City. That's how I found out about Dr. Ben, Dr. John Henry Clark, all of those master scholars, master teachers. I started watching Sinetta TV, found out about that. So just started watching all the debate. And like me, I'm a little bit different in the sense that I don't just watch for entertainment. Like, I watch to actually learn. Because, like, for me, it's always been just about searching for the truth. It's not really, about the feel good information. It's not about none of that. It's about learning what's really real. Because, like I said, once I found out about the 9/11 and about the Illuminati, I'm like, man, wow, like, what else have we been lied to about? Like, they did us the biggest inside job that, of our lifetime with 9/11. So, like, if all of these people could get this together and be involved and know about this, then what else have they lied to us about? So, I just really, when I watch that type of stuff, I write down anything that I don't understand, and then I take it back, research it, learn as much as I can about it. And so I've always just been a student of knowledge, of wisdom, and just try to learn anything I can about everything. And so, once I found Detroit, it was like, basically, it was like home to me, because I was already on the, African consciousness and Africanism, and then I saw, a group that was raw, that was ready to put in work, because like that was always my thing is just let's get to work. Like, we don't need to talk and have a million meetings about getting ready for the work. Let's just get together and let's do the work. Right. And I saw that they was out here in the streets reaching the people. And to me, that's like the main thing that I love about being a part of New York Detroit is that we reach the layman. We reach the people that's in the hood. We're not just going, like, we go to a lecture, it's going to be all people that's already in the community that already know the stuff. But when we do going door to door, we go to the lowest, most impoverished, poorest, forgotten about neighborhoods, and we give those people something to be proud of by teaching them about black power, black love, and black unity. truth seeker, martial artist, and then, like you said too, that was kind of my niche with the photography and videography. Because like when I first came up to Northern Detroit, I had a camcorder, and I was like, man, people need to see this. And like I already had a big following on Facebook, so I was like, well, that's kind of how I can contribute. Is if I record it and then put it on Facebook. And so I recorded the first event and I put it up. Got a lot of love. And so ever since then, I just been like, that was kind of my thing. It's just capturing the moment. And I just think about how important that is because, like, how did you know how powerful the Panthers was for anybody like that? For Malcolm X, for Martin Luther King, and for living people there, recording, taking pictures, all of this type of stuff. Like, it was very important. And, 20, 30 years later, look back at those videos and pictures, and it's going to be the same like the Panthers. Like how we look at the Panthers or how we put up YouTube videos with Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. All of that, they're going to be putting on my videos and my pictures. Like, look at New Detroit. They're the ones who changed the city when the city was going down, and they changed the world because we do have multiple chapters all over the United States.
Right. That's powerful. That's powerful. I believe we got a caller in the room. This is Professor Phil.
Yes, sir, in the building. What's up, fam?
Hey, peace and blessings, my brother. Thanks for calling in. Do you have a question or comment for Brother Horton you want to ask or lay out?
Yeah, I was wondering as far as New Era Detroit is concerned, its primary focus has been like Code to the Streets, from some of the interviews I checked out and really just took a real long arm assessment of it. Can they now here's the important thing about what I've been trying to do with people all over the place is basically encompass ourselves in incorporating a collective thought, even though it's not just the streets that's yelling that we need help. We're talking about that the communities and the people that actually generously give, but that kind of nullified because all the noise of our abuse and our abusers that have the mic, and we're not able to really pass it around, and we don't acknowledge the people that really count. So I'm wondering, when it comes to New Era Detroit, would you, and I'm sure you're probably using a nonprofit or something of that nature, would you consider the fact that really nonprofits aren't so beneficial to the communities, and that the stagnated poor pimping status of like everything from your churches, from your clergy's on down, there's no real power there. There's no financial base. I mean, and then I'm not talking about the fact that we need we need lots and lots of money to reestablish the society we once lived in. But I guess if somebody wants to live in Detroit, I mean, I want to be able to say, we've invested in this land, we own it, we control it. Where's your standpoint on for-profit and non-profit businesses as far as how that'll leverage each other out?
Right. So that is one thing that we do proudly say is that we are not a 501c3, and so we don't take any government grants, any government money. All of what we do is pretty much funded by the people. And to me, it's amazing how much we accomplish on basically a zero budget. Like all the money everything that we do is funded by the members or is funded by donations. And so we do have several plans to accrue funds to help fund what we do. And so I'm not sure if you listened to the whole interview, but like I said, we do have 3 of our members that are running for city council. And so what we did was we created one of our programs that we do is called the Change You Bride. And so what the Change You Bride is we take our own money, our own time, our own energy, and we prepare meals, and we deliver those meals on the bus, and we take it down to the transit center and deliver that to the people. And so when we get our people called The Streets is Watching, which is our neighborhood watch program where we go and we patrol the neighborhood 5 days a week, 9 hours a day. We make sure the kids get to and from school. So that's another program that could be funded when we get our people in the city council. Yeah, like I said earlier, we do hold our elected officials and all of that accountable, so we don't have to worry about any misuse of funds. And two, like you said, those 501c3 programs have not been beneficial, nor have they cited any change as a whole.
Hold on just a minute. Say that one more time for the listeners, because I don't think people quite understand what I asked, but you just repeat the answer one last time. I'm sorry, brother.
The whole thing is just that last part.
Just the last part regarding non-for-profits. What non-profits are and what they really aren't, especially in the black
community. I just said, the 501c3 has not been beneficial in changing anything for black people on a mass scale, as a whole at all, especially these churches. And I'm sure in your search on YouTube, I'm sure you probably saw where we went and shut down the church.
Yeah.
And that particular pastor is a multi-million-dollar pastor that's, in the center of the hood with a multi-million-dollar church. He drives us in Bentley, him and his wife got both matching Bentley, and then they come and they ask the people for money. And on that particular day, it was his birthday, and so he did a personal collection for himself for his birthday, in which he started it at $1,000. And if anybody had a personal gift to give to the pastor, we started him off at $1,000. And you're a multi-million-dollar businessman driving a Bentley in the hood. So, that's kind of why. And then he also brought Donald Trump into the community without talking to anybody, giving any type of permission or consensus to say that we wanted to bring Donald Trump here.
Is that where?
He was also at Donald Trump's inauguration as well. So, that actually resonated around the nation, that particular shutdown, because the churches need to be held accountable.
Definitely.
And if they haven't been held accountable for so long, they've been basically siphoning money from the hood and not giving anything back to the hood. So, another church we shut down, he's actually been a big help ever since we visited his church. So, if there was what that church that brought Donald Trump, that was actually the second church that we shut down. But the first church has been giving back to the hood, and he's been helping us out as well. So, they have the power and they have the minds and the heart of the people. So they can do a lot more than what they've been doing. And so that's what we just challenge them to. We don't want to, take anybody away from church or challenge anybody's religion. But we do want to hold these pastors and churches accountable, because they've been taking money, but we don't see what they give back to the neighborhood as a whole. Like, at the minimum, we could at least clean up the area around the church. You don't have to save the whole world or save the whole city, but at least show us that you're doing something to help give back to the community that's given to you.
Another question: who was actually the person that started the New Era Detroit movement? Not just the movement, but put into its conceptual order, in which it is now beginning to crop up in other states and things of this nature.
Our president and founder is Zeke. I'm sure you saw him on a lot of the videos and a lot of interviews and a lot of pictures. But he's the president and the founder.
Is he out of Detroit or is he out of Chicago? I'm trying to figure which one.
He's out of Detroit.
Okay. Well, the brother Ben said he was to ask you for your number and all that good stuff, but I told him I wouldn't do that during your interview, so I'll let it flow with that. I got a few phone calls I have to make, but I want to make sure that cause he asked me to come on and ask a few questions, and I figure as long as I have someone that has a kind of the top interest of this principle is to serve his community based on what New Era Detroit and New Era. I mean, you're in Chicago, Atlanta. You just popped out of Miami, so I mean, you're fusing into places at this point, and I see that it's just not a movement. It's something that's great. It's a real momentum. It's going to be something a hell of a lot bigger than what I've seen, other than your Black Lives Matter that turned into something else. It was a feminine movement from, but in essence, I'm talking about something that has real potential, strong message, and just not a no nonsense. I mean, don't get me wrong. This might be just me saying what the future might hold, but at the same time, I only can say what I see right now. I see you guys pretty strong. You're looking extremely, you're straightforward. You're not playing the numbers game like, it is kind of political in some places, though. I hate to say it. I got a brother down in, his name is G Mac. I'm not sure if you heard of him out in Atlanta. He's trying to get his move started with the New Era Atlanta, and like I say, everybody's kind of playing a role, but it seems like there's momentum behind it. But I definitely need to talk to you brothers up in Detroit, because what I'm trying to do elsewhere, everywhere, California, Florida, all the way back east, is participating in a very large financial means of procuring land, not only soliciting money from the federal government, each other, and literally not having to use any of our actual assets, things that we access and own, and a lot of our own money. And that means money's not going to necessarily have to come out. And the good part is, profit promise you things. But when I'm talking on the corporate level, promises are solely based on what you can prove. Not something that you just talk about. So and I, like I said, I know you're trying to get some momentum out of Chicago too. I see him yelling pretty tough. But there has to be a financial coordinated sector you got set up. Now I know as far as running for office is concerned, any of the local practitioners, politicians that is, are they right now, any of them working with you? I know that you had said one of them was acting in good spirit, good nature, but are they actually are there people that are working with you that can take it from the level of bullhorns to the Senate?
Yes, and we do have a few local politicians that are, strong.
The city's table. That's what I was get out. I had a lot of noise there. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yes, we do have a few politicians that are already in office that are working with us, and then like I mentioned earlier too, is that we work with the politicians that are attempting to get into office. So the mayor candidates and all of that, we interview all of them, and we are building a slate for our Bill 15K, and then we also have 3 of our members running for city council. So that's 3 different districts that we are looking to take over as an organization. I believe it's only 8 districts, and if we take 3 of the 8 districts, we'll almost have half of the city council here with no members. So
with a decent majority, you can even change the city's name. I mean, the truth be told. I mean, if you did it just right. And it's the reason why Brother Ben told me I should reach out to you. Is that I can, let's just say that I can make your New Era Detroit like a movement no one else has created before. The truth is, at the same time, um, I mean, I'm I think the government in Detroit, from what I've seen, with everything from happening in Flint, all the way coming down to Chicago, going back to Detroit, there's something in unison that's always echoed. Ignore the public. They're telling the politicians to ignore the public, and they've been, as you already know, benign neglect is that type of reality. But it's getting to the point where they're no longer they can no longer ignore this anymore. They can't ignore that there's organizations that may just take over these offices. And we have to take a large. And when I say take a swing, we're going to have to take a swing. Like somebody got to die. I mean, we don't have much of an option.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Is that I mean, in my mind, how can you stop it? Because we're going door to door, getting people to play their vote, we're getting people to sign petitions. So it's like, it's total grassroots. And then we're working with other organizations. So we're definitely trying to take back our local government. At least we don't really care about the president and all of that. But we are working on taking back our local government, our local city council, our local mayor. I'm not sure if you know about Coleman Young, but his son is running for Mayor Coleman Young Jr., so he's a strong affiliate in support of New Era Detroit. And he was actually on the news. And they got a segment on the news called Let It Rip. And it's like where people, they kind of go, back and forth. And the topic came up about voting on the news. And the news anchor said that normally the political seats are decided by, the seniors, because the young people don't vote. And then Coleman Young Jr. said, New Era Detroit is about to change that. So, like, he knows, and that's really our goal, to get that, the 18 to 35-year-olds, to get that demographic to vote on our accord. And, I just want to see how we can be stopped, to be honest.
Well, and I see the Bing. That's probably me and Mr. Ben. He won't hit you up. But there's one last thing, and I'm gonna leave you with, is that soon as I get an opportunity, and I shoot you an email pertaining to this financial petition that I have in place, this will definitely change. Let's just say New Era Detroit is going to be looking at something like something more like something. I'm not gonna say a Mecca. I don't want to say that quite yet because I'd be pushing the envelope. But I would say that it's gonna look, in the next 2 months, New Era Detroit is gonna look like something. It's gonna look something that people are gonna respect. That they're actually gonna do. They're gonna go from car and what you to join you, and is it possible I can get employment too? Because to be with you, like any other agency, I mean, you should be employing the youth, man. You should be employing the youth. So wow. Hopefully this petition to put you where you need to be and where you're going. We're really taking back districts. And if you don't mind, this way my signature is on and people know it came from me. If you happen to take the majority of the seats, which I'm quite sure by helping you do so, the only thing I ask you to do is all the districts that you take, you rename it as Blue now, name them as black towns. I want everyone outside of Detroit to see that if you come to Detroit, more than unlikely you're not welcome. And what I mean by that is you can't come here and take what you want and go back to the suburbs. It's not even going to work like that anymore. That's all I ask for. That's all I ask for my help.
That's what's up. That's what's up. And Brother Phil is a yeah. And this is what we want to do. We want to start making these inroads and networking with one another and building solidarity. As we have stated here, domestically, but also in other areas in the diaspora. We're looking to reconnect with Africa, of course, but we need to just understand the power of Pan-Africanism. And I think this is a viable method that Professor Phil has come across and uncovered, shall I say, and brought to our people. and he's gonna have a show on the first April 1st in Baltimore. Are you gonna be broadcasting that on YouTube or anything, Professor Phil? Because I think people can see this and really see you at work. And I'm not trying to take away from what we have with you, Brother Horton, but I think that this can definitely continue to enhance and sharpen everything that New Era is doing in light of what every African in the diaspora and at home needs to be doing as well, and that's getting more understanding of how our systems work. But are you gonna be broadcasting that, Professor Phil?
Well, yeah. I don't use my channel that much that often anymore, so I've kind of decided to go through like public Twitter, things of that nature. Again, I put it out there. It's an economical empowerment. Baltimore. It's called the so-called Black Republic Taxes, Sovereignty, Control, and Power. Saturday 1st. It's at the Arch Social Club at 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. at 2946 Pennsylvania Avenue. Coming from my friends are hopefully in every attempt to accommodate you, because the people I'm dealing with are the type of people that open their homes to you. I'm the type of person that when I go to a city, I'm welcome there. That means people welcome me in their home. They know that their things won't move. They know who I am. They know what type of family man I am. They know where I live. I mean, that's the whole thing extremely important about social connections, is that just not a Facebook guy. You know what I mean? I'm the type of person, just like Brother Ben. I'm in the streets. The only thing is that I'm not an abstract person. I'm not going to be on the phone telling you how to do things. I'm not going to tell New Era Detroit what it can do if I in Detroit. So I'm not going to be. I'm boots on the ground type of person. Someone calls me and says, "Hey, put your cape on, come and help us. Help you make a few splinters. You might break an arm or something like that." I'm coming down there, because if I can help change what's eventually going to happen in the future, my future is as bleak as yours if we're not doing something together. I mean, that's not even a question. That's the answer to everything. If we're not doing anything together, answer to our problem will go unanswered. We continue to, you can get on your knees and you can ask someone in the sky, or you can ask a man that doesn't look like you, or a woman that doesn't look like you. They don't live in your community. Look around you. See, unfortunately, what I see is the people that have never come to realize their full potential, and that's what I'm trying to pull out of every single black woman, child, you name it. I mean, I'm a naturalist. I believe in, the human evolution. People can come out of ignorance, and that means every race of people. But unfortunately, we're talking about the fact that we have been deprived of so many things that the only thing that comes from the attribute of black first is that if it isn't black first, then you're selling yourself to someone else cheaper for long hours. Importantly, you're working for nothing. If we work for each other, your community will grow itself. You don't have to worry about what other people can do for you if you can do it yourself. That's what I'm hoping New Detroit had attitude, because that's what was. That's what Philly was. That's what Kansas City was. That's what Oklahoma City was. These were places where we established ourselves, and we didn't ask anybody for permission. So hopefully we can do this again, and regardless of what happened in the past, we have to upgrade, a serious upgrade. We went from doing what would be equivalent to the predator, and becoming the prey, to now coming up to the 2000s, where we have to. I mean, this has to take on this is going to have to take on something that most people are not gonna feel so well about. New Era Detroit talking about walking the streets. I'm talking about you're the streets at this point. You're telling people to go home. You're talking about curfews. You're talking about being able to bring these local children up in the right frame of mind to say, I want to be like that man. He's a cop, and he doesn't have to wear a badge and a gun on him, because everybody around him knows who he is. They all know who each other are, and they don't have to do anything bad to one another, because they've all agreed we are a society, and we shall become self-sustainable. And like I said, my my long dialogue there. Sorry for that, fellas. I'm hoping we can bring this together.
That's what's up.
Straight up.
Appreciate you, Professor Phil.
And I'll leave a number just in case anybody wants to get a hold of the brother too. Actually, you can call me if you want directly. 424-259-408. Again, we're doing an economical empowering at the Arch Social Club, 2946 Pennsylvania Avenue at 5 o'clock p.m. on Saturday 1st to 8. Man, it's going to be wonderful. It's going to be lit. We have plenty of businesses that are already talking about giving up some really strong assets that isn't even in their pocket, and they naturally know they have it, never been able to use it. So we're potentially walking away from the table with about $400,000 to $500,000 worth of assets, quote unquote assets, that will ensure that we'll be able to do some with Baltimore in little less than a month, depending on the outcome of these businesses. I'm talking about trust all around. Everybody agrees we need something, and if it comes down to taking it, well, we're gonna take it.
That's what's up. Hey, best wishes in that endeavor, my man.
Sure. Thank you.
No doubt, no doubt. So here we are, Hebrew Vision Live. We're having a conversation about being ready for the revolution with Keith Horton out of New Era, Detroit. And so we just had Professor Phil call in and make some inroads as well. But we're going to keep this conversation moving. Brother Kimati, you have anything you want to ask Brother Keith Horton?
Yes, indeed. What is New Era Detroit's position on the subject of self-defense?
Well, that's kind of my thing, like I talked about earlier, is that I've been in self-defense for a long time. And another thing I didn't mention is that we do have a special set of New Era Detroit called New Era Elite. The New Era Elite is like the warrior class of New Era Detroit. And that is who does our security when we go out to the hood to hood. And that's also who does our Streets is Watching program. And so all of those individuals who are on your elite, I train them in martial arts as well as my instructor trains them in martial arts. And then, we teach shooting, we teach different types of things, all predicated on self-defense. So, we definitely believe in it. A lot of our members do carry firearms too. We definitely are advocates of self-defense.
Powerful. So have you all had any confrontations with the police or other institutional organizations like the Klan or any other militias? Or have there been any confrontations, not like physical, but have there been any just confrontations that you all have had to kind of quell or quench in any way?
We actually had a few. And that's another one of the reasons why we plan on taking on city council seats is that our police are kind of out of control in the sense that they always find a way to educate us or to try to thwart our peaceful demonstration and movement. And so I'm not sure if you guys know, but during one of our meetings, one of our members, who is a licensed, he has his CPL, and also Michigan is an open carry state. And we were walking across the street, and the police pulled up, and they just basically they started saying like, hey you. And so, nobody knew who they were talking to, so we just kind of kept going on our way. And then they got in the car and they pulled up and they just started grabbing
You said the brother did beat the case though that they try to charge him with, huh? You have some background noise. I couldn't hear you clearly. What'd you say? I'm sorry.
I said he tried to charge him with 2 felonies. And one is assaulting a police officer, and then 2 resisting arrest. And so we had to go to trial a few times, but we beat it off.
Beautiful. All praises to the Most High. That's awesome.
Another time we were doing the streets is watching, and during the streets is watching, we patrol with a green light. So everybody in the neighborhood knows that. They call us the green light crew because we drive around with green lights. And before we even started it, we met with the police chief as well as other police officers, and we told them about the idea of the green light. And they really liked the idea because they also have what's called the Green Light Initiative here. Basically, what the Green Light Initiative is that business owners that work with the police where they have surveillance around the business, and that way, any crimes are committed or, any robberies or anything like that is connected to the security cameras. And so they like the idea of the green light crew because it went along with the Green Light Initiative. And so one of the members got pulled over because he had a green light. Coincidentally, they said it was a distraction to drive with a green light.
Come on.
And so they wanted to impound his car. And so as they were towing his car, he called the other members. So he called the president and a couple of other members. So they went out to talk to the police. So as soon as they hopped out the car to talk to the police, the police grabbed our members. They pulled out one of our female members. They pulled out one of her dreadlocks. And, they slammed them up against the car. They handcuffed them and took them all to the police, to the jail. And we actually had a press conference on that particular situation because we do have a lawsuit against them for doing that. So it's kind of pretty much all negative when it comes to the police getting involved in our peaceful demonstrations and movements. So it seems as if they would, try to help out more than they do. But at the same time, we got to realize that police get paid when crimes are committed. So when we have things like the streets is watching, we are curbing the crime. We're taking the crime rate down, and we're taking over the police's job. So I guess they look at it as a threat. So, they just try to stop whatever we got going on.
Now you said you met with the police about the green light program prior to them pulling over the individual.
That's how I see it.
That's crazy.
We definitely met with them, sat down with them, talked to them about it before we actually implement it. And then, he gets pulled over for having the green light. So, the mistake that we made was not getting it in writing. Because we met with them, we talked to them, and they verbally, gave us the okay. But when it comes down to it, that's what he got pulled over for. So it was like, they lied. They didn't speak to their word or agreement.
My goodness. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. On the flip side, what are some...
Yeah, that's exactly how I see it. I mean, New Era Detroit.
Go ahead, brother. Kimathi.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was just going to, iterate that. That's exactly how I see it. Can I be heard?
Yes.
Can I be heard?
Yes, you can be heard.
Oh, okay. No, I was just going to say that, the way I see it is New Era Detroit is obviously a threat. I mean, it's just obvious. And I can't help but see a parallel between New Era Detroit and the Black Panthers. You know what I mean? The same momentum that New Era Detroit has, it reminds me so much of the momentum that the Black Panthers had, where what was the guy's name who was head over the FBI?
Hoover.
He pretty much said that the Black Panthers were public enemy number one.
Right.
What I mean, and I see that same potential threat to the status quo with New Era Detroit. So this, repression and encounters that's taking place with the police, it's like a repeat all over again.
Unfortunate.
Could you repeat that one more time? Last part.
Yeah, no, I was just saying that in a lot of ways, I see New Era Detroit much like the Black Panthers Party.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? With the threat that they are to the status quo. You know what I mean? The chapters that have been built. It's just obvious that New Era Detroit is a threat. And you see the same police repression taking place, that you saw with the Black Panthers. So I just see it like a repeat all over again. I almost get the impression that New Era Detroit is, the new Black Panther Party. Now, I know you got the new Black Panther Party, but as far as the spirit of the Black Panther Party, I see that in a lot of ways in New Era Detroit.
Oh, yeah, we definitely appreciate that. And I think that's probably, one of our biggest influences of how we are, who we are is, kind of predicated on the Black Panthers. But yet, taking their story and learning from it, because that's the thing, like, when the Black Panthers were formed, they didn't have the Black Panthers to look at and model themselves after. They were first. And so now we do have the Black Panthers. We have the MOVE organization. We have several other organizations to model ourselves after and look at where they went wrong, and then we can fix where they made the mistake. And so I would definitely say, though, that the Panthers are, one of our biggest influences.
That's powerful. Can you talk about some of the success stories? I think sometimes we really don't celebrate the successes, that have been accomplished in light of some of the challenges that we face. If you could pinpoint maybe two success stories that really stand out, something that New Era Detroit has accomplished, what would those be?
Definitely, first and foremost, would be the Flint situation. And like I said earlier, we deliver over 1 million bottles of water as an organization, with no budget. Like, that was just all our efforts as coupled with the donations from the people. So, people donated water and people donated money. And so we used that money to purchase water. So, we went up to Flint several times, even when it's, negative below zero degree weather. We out there door to door. Like, one time, we drink the brew, which is the president and the vice president, so 3 of us, we went up there and delivered 23,000 bottles of water on our own with just only 3 people. We had a truck full, and we went door to door. We went to apartment buildings. We just posted up on the street corner, posted up at parking lot, just deliver water through the whole day. And it was negative, below zero degree weather. And so to me, that was one of my proudest moments, just to kind of see all of the people who benefited from our donations of water to the people. So that was definitely, to me, first and foremost, number one accomplishment. And probably the second one, I would have to probably say maybe I'm not sure if you guys was when we went to Dearborn and we shut down the city council meeting. That was one of my most viral videos. It had over 1 million views.
Wow.
But you know, two unarmed citizens from Detroit citizens shot by Dearborn police, which is like, you know, right on the outskirts of Detroit, probably like 20 minutes outside of Detroit. In one scenario, the guy, Kevin Matthews, he was gunned down by the police. And basically what happened was he supposedly had a warrant, and the police officer recognized his face and started chasing him, and they ended up in the alley. And then the police officer said, "Oh, he went for my gun." You know, the normal story. He went for my gun. He tried to fight me, and so he shot him in the alley, and so he got killed. And then another one, it was a lady. I forget her name right now, but she was in Dearborn leaving the mall, and they said they tried to pull her over, and she didn't pull over, and she kept going, so they shot at the car.
What?
And so basically what we did was we went to the city council to deliver a message. And so like the first time we tried to go to the city council, which is a public meeting, they locked the doors and they wouldn't let us in. And so you know, and they tried to deny it and they said, "Oh, the doors wasn't locked," but you know, we got video evidence, everything, the doors was locked. And then the second time we went, the city council meeting wasn't on that day. It was on a different day. It's every other week. And so we had one back the next week. And so the third time we went, that was like the charm. So we went, you know, we got on the podium, gave a message. And then we just feel, you know, it was just like the Black Panthers. If you watch the video, you know, we all, like, that's our thing is, you know, we come in all black. And so we all came in all black. And we surrounded the entire room with our fist up in the air, you know, all power to the people, all of that. Like, it was just, you know, it was epic. And the leader of the city council, she adjourned the meeting because she basically lost control, and she felt that it was too, you know, it was too much for her to handle, and so she shut down the meeting. So that was definitely a big win for us. And then, like I said, that video went like crazy viral. So my most memorable.
What's the name of that video, brother?
It's under, I believe it's under New Detroit shut down Dearborn City Council. I could send it to you messages. Yeah, and that's one thing I meant to say too. That video and Tandy's live video, those were like my two most viral videos that I created. Because, you know, I didn't even really know how to video edit, but, like, I knew I got the eye and I got the mind to tell a story. And so, you know, I put those two videos together, told the story, they went viral, and people kept taking my videos and putting them up on their YouTube channels to get views. Because, you know, like, once you get so many subscribers and you get so many views, then you get money for it. And so people were taking my videos and putting it up. And then they was getting, you know, hits off my videos. So I was like, I gotta create some type of tag to put on the videos, you know, just so people will know, like, that it's us, that it's Murray Detroit, and it's not the person that's putting up the video.
Right.
And so that's actually what birthed Revolutionary Mind Cinema was that, because people kept stealing my Murray Detroit videos and putting them on the YouTube channel.
Wow. Crazy. That's crazy. People it just looking for ways to come up on other people, man. That's crazy. Man, this is powerful. This is powerful. So what is on the horizon right now for New Era Detroit? What is it that you all are in the midst of, you know, getting involved with?
Well, like I said, the main main two things right now is just taking those city council seats and stopping the school closing. That's like our main two agenda items coming up most recently.
Okay. You all have a website. Does New Era Detroit have a website? I got your email address, new.era.detroit@gmail. Is there a website that people can actually go on?
The website is just neweradetroit.org.
Awesome.
And each chapter has a website. So New Era Atlanta has a website, New Era Chicago, or the same thing.
Awesome. I do have another question as far as the makeup. You talked about there's no particular spiritual or religious orientation. Are there different traditions that are apart? I mean, do you all have like Christians, Muslims, Hebrews? Is there a wide makeup of different traditions that are present within the New Era Detroit movement?
Yeah, we have pretty much all ideologies represented. But it's like like I said, there's no particular one and there's no particular right one. We respect pretty much everybody as long as you down for the people, down for the cause, and you're ready to put in work.
That's powerful. So how has that element, the religious element of the different groups, how has that, I guess, how has that added on to what New Era Detroit is attempting to accomplish? What has been the impact of it, rather?
It's been good because, like I said, everybody respects everybody. So, it never really came up. I have never seen anybody do any religious debates amongst each other or anything like it. It's really like a non-issue. The only time it kind of became an issue was when we did the church shutdown, only because some people didn't necessarily agree with that being the best way to get the message out. But like I said, that was one of the shots that was heard around the world.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw one channel upload the news story of the church shutdown, and it had over 5 million views.
My goodness.
So I was like, that reached global. That had a global impact.
It definitely did.
And that was just one Facebook page. But just imagine all the other Facebook pages. The actual news page had over a million views. So that was huge.
Definitely was. Kimatha, you have a question you want to ask, brother?
Yes, I do. What encouraging advice would you give to other brothers and sisters and families across this country who are tired of being oppressed, who are ready to take up their contribution to liberation struggle? What kind of encouraging advice would you give them?
Give me 1 second, right? 2 seconds. Let me walk out of here.
No doubt. We're wrapping up our conversation with Brother Keith Horton of New Era Detroit. Ready for the Revolution is what we've been discussing. A lot of ground that we've covered about the developments that's taking place in Detroit and how these individuals in the community have banded together from various walks of life and come to make progress and take the city back, and definitely just uplift and support the people in the community in which they live. So it's been a very engrossing conversation. I hope that our listeners have been engaged. We had a caller come in and also, add on to the cipher, Professor Phil, who we interviewed this past Tuesday. But it's been a very dynamic conversation. Brother Keith, you back with us?
Yeah, I'm back. So the advice that I would have is really just to
again, brothers and sisters who are oppressed in cities across America, who are fed up with, social degradation, economic exploitation, and political misrepresentation, and now want to contribute to liberation struggle. What are some encouraging words that you would have for them?
Yeah, so that's what I was saying. Just pretty much get involved, like do what you can. So it doesn't have to necessarily be under any of the New Era banners. You don't have to necessarily join any particular organization like that. Because that's the thing. Like, it's not a shortage of work. And so, like, a lot of people try to tell us, like, oh, you should do X, Y, and Z, or you shouldn't do X, Y, and Z. And like the thing is that, it's so much work to go around that, if you feel that something needs to be done a certain way, or, we aren't doing it right, just set the example and show us how it's done. Like, just do it. You don't have to, like, kind of tell us what to do. And so, my advice would just be to get involved and, find your niche, whatever you are passionate about, and just get involved. Because, like, I think a lot of what we do, too, is reinvent the wheel. Like, like, for example, if you're passionate about chemtrails, or, you're passionate about water fluoridation, which are, two big issues, like, it's already organizations that's already created that's doing the work. So, all you got to do is just find out who's doing it and then get involved and contribute the best way that you can. That's kind of how it was with the Lady Church. Because it was like, like I said, like, I already had a following, I already was doing the work, like, because I was already kind of known outside of New Era Detroit before I joined New Era Detroit. And, they were already doing a lot of the stuff that I wanted to implement, but they had the numbers. So I was like, instead of me trying to go and create my own thing and, further be divided, why not just join somebody that's already doing it and add on to what they're doing and make it better? Like, that's the good thing about how I see what we do, is that everybody contributes positively. Like, it's no dead weight whatsoever. Like, everybody does something, and everybody does that something well. So, like, you just kind of find your niche. Like, for example, me with the camera. Like, that's not really what I set out to do, but I felt that that was the best way that, well, one of the best ways that I can contribute is because I do have a large following, and I, got the ability to, make the video. So it's just kind of like, why not?
Yeah, that's powerful. That's powerful, man. And I see that you all were just recently in a school doing some economic education with some youth on the 29th. So, man, you all are doing some wonderful things, man.
Elementary school student.
Yeah, definitely. That's powerful, man.
Yeah, we actually played a game with them to show them black economics and recycling the dollar. Because, as you know, like the Asian dollar bounces 15 times, 13 to 15 times. Everybody else besides the black dollar, and the black dollar only stays in black hands and black neighborhoods for 6 hours before it's shelled back out into, white hands, Chinese hands, all of that. Like, we don't practice group economics on a mass scale. And so that's what our Buy Black tours is about, is just supporting black businesses. And, that's kind of what we tried to impart into the kids, was that, we need to support our own. So basically kind of what we did was just, we deemed certain people as businesses. So like, one person was the Chinese food place and one person was this place. And so we just wanted to count how much money was spent with other businesses and how much money was spent with your own people. Mm-hmm. So it was just kind of a lesson in cooperative economics and group economics.
How did they receive it? How did the youth receive that?
Enjoyed it. They enjoyed it. Interactive. Get them up and get them
Yeah, that's powerful. So how are particularly not just the schools period? How do the administration receive you all, and how are you all going about organizing these efforts?
So we have a committee. The black that particular program is called Black to Reality, and we it's kind of just like a school tour. So we go to schools. Sometimes we go to the auditorium. Sometimes we're in the gym. Sometimes we just go to the classroom. But all of that is set up by our Black to Reality School Tour Committee. They work with the administration. And, we go to the schools like that. I'm not really sure of the details of the process, but I imagine they just go and talk to the principals and set up the day and the time.
And it's been received pretty well.
Oh yeah. We had nothing but positive feedback. I never heard anything negative from it.
That is awesome, man. That is absolutely awesome.
I think that's a lot of people aren't doing that type of outreach and engagement. That's kind of one of our main focuses is the youth, because they are the future. They're the ones that are going to take over. I just feel bad that we have to fight the same fight that they. You can bring up any Malcolm X speech right now, and it's still relevant. Like, if you look at the 10-point program of the Black Panthers, we haven't accomplished now one of those things.
Mm-hmm.
That's on the 10-point program. So it's a bad situation that we're in as a whole. That we've been left to fight the same fight that they've been fighting since the 60s. So that's another reason why we came over with Evolutionary Exodus, because we really the time is now. Like, we don't have another generation to wait. So it's like Revolutionary Exodus is going to present those two solutions. We're going to talk about the pros and the cons. We're going to talk about how much it costs for each one, how do we get the money for each one, all of that. And then we want to use that documentary as a catalyst to work towards one of those two things. The revolution can take many different forms. It's not just, taking up arms and going and forcefully taking over the government.
Right.
We got a lot of different perspectives on revolution as well. And so, that's what I hope. So, for example, how Hidden Colors was kind of the catalyst for people to, learn knowledge of soul. And all of that, really made a big impact. That's what we want Revolutionary Exodus to do as far as the solutions to get free. So we want to present both sides, and then we want to come up with a collective agreement. And we don't all, 100% have to agree. We never will, but we just want to get the pros and cons, and then we take those pros and cons, and then a group of us come to a conclusion that this is what we need to make it happen, and then let's start working on it. That documentary is a catalyst for the work, the effort to get one of those two going. I don't want it to just be, we watch it, we get some information, and then we just go back to doing what we've been doing and being how we've been, been for the longest.
Right.
Good.
Deep. Kamata, you got any last questions out?
No last questions, but I do want to say I really enjoyed the dynamic discussion this evening. I learned a lot in terms of what New Era Detroit stands for, how they've impacted the community, as well as the country with the different chapters that have sprang up. So, Brother Horton, I just want to thank you for your time. to talk with us and just share what New Era Detroit is doing and how they're contributing to liberation struggle.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you sticking it out 2 hours.
Definitely, man. And I echo the sentiments Brother Kimathi did, and we'll be sharing this all over social media and everything. Feel free to do the same. I'll link it with you on your inbox on Facebook, and we'll just look to move forward in the near future. I know my wife she writes and provides a recipe for the Wisdom magazine every month, so we're definitely connected in more ways than one. So we'll keep building, man, and hopefully link up sometime in the near future. We see if we may even get something organized here, New Era wise in Kansas City. We got some progressives, here in Kansas City, so we'll see what we can do.
We are looking for the Kansas City chapter too. I can send you the info. I think we already got the email set up New Era, Kansas.
Word
I
up.
know those like the two, kind of Midwest chapters that we were planning on doing with Kansas City and St. Louis. So that's the goal, within the next couple of months to get those going. So
yeah,
I
definitely
want to shoot you that information, and if you have, any people that want to join, you can shoot it to them too. Because that's the last thing I would like to mention too before we get off the phone is that we do have East Coast tour coming, where we're going to Philadelphia, New York, and Baltimore to get those chapters started. Those are the next 3 chapters in the New Era Nation, is East Coast. So we're going there in June, but one of the possibilities was that we would like to have our New Era St. Louis and New Era Kansas City family join us on that trip. So I'm gonna definitely shoot you that information, and hopefully we can get you guys up and running before we go on that trip in June.
Okay, definitely, man. You can shoot me an email or inbox me on Facebook, and we'll see what we can do to keep it moving, man, and move forward. Yes, indeed.
Okay, I got you. I'll do that.
But do check out neweradetroit.org. You can go to their website. What's your YouTube channel, my brother?
Well, we do have a Revolutionary Mind Cinema YouTube, but we don't really have much on it. So the best would just to be to go to New Era Detroit YouTube channel. It's 2 of us that do the videos. So that would be majority of the content.
Okay.
There is our YouTube channel, New Era Detroit. And then we have Facebook and YouTube. We pretty much post on those every day. So
okay.
you can check those out too if you want to get more involved, more information. If you want to see any of the videos, and then you can go to my own personal page too. And it's a lot of the videos up. All the videos that I did are on mine. So if you just type in Keith Horton videos, you'll see. Like a lot of the hoods, my camera was in the shop, so I went, did Facebook Live on a lot of our hoods, so you can see a lot of those videos on YouTube, and then some viral videos. I'll send you a couple of videos too, because the Changes ride, that was like the first real encounter that we had with the police, like where, they actually came out, put people in handcuffs.
Wow.
All of that, and that was during our Changes ride, and that was like the first video that I made that went viral, was that video. And then, I'm going to shoot you the video where we shut down the city council.
Okay, looking forward to that, man. Well, hey, we wish New Era Detroit all the best, and prayerfully, the movement will continue to grow, consciousness will continue to increase, and our people will awaken and get free, man. So thanks again for your time. Hebrew Vision was very pleased to host you this evening, man, and we'll be willing to come on your show as well and speak with the brother with Do the Knowledge Radio as well, man, and just continue to move forward, man.
Yeah, we definitely set that up within the next week, probably.
Okay, sounds good, man, because we just need to continue to network and build as a people in this Pan-African diaspora and look to get our people definitely uplifted, man. So thank you once again.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. You've just listened to our broadcast with Brother Keith Horton, Ready for the Revolution with New Era Detroit. I'm your co-host, Mikael Corbin Yahoo. Had Kimathi Malaku back on the set with us. Peace and blessings, brother. How you been, man? Is he there?
Been real good, huh?
There
Real
you
good.
go.
It's exciting. It's like a surge of, energy, man. Being back on the show, being able to ask questions, build, get rich insights.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, no question. So next week we're gonna have a brother King Lamont on with Noble Sounds. We're gonna be dealing with next month is actually poetry, National Poetry Month. So we're gonna be dealing with some artists, some lyricists, and then we're gonna have a sister on at the end of the month is gonna transition us into some other matters, back to some more social, cultural matters, as we're gonna deal with some homeschooling and things of that nature. But do listen next week, 6 to 8 p.m., same Hebrew time, same Hebrew location, here on Spreaker.com at the End Time Scribes, Hebrew Vision Live, with King Lamont, as we're going to be going over Noble Sounds. But we're going to go out the same way we go in with our song, Let My People Go. Hallelujah. Thanks again for listening.